It's the Pete Sousa Show. Sports, Pete.
Nobody tells our stories better than our clients.
The difference is stark. I was rear-ended at a stop. I thought I was fine, and then once I got home, I realized it's a lot worse than I thought. I ended up having a ruptured disc. You say you're not hurting, and then an hour later, you're saying you're in all this pain. I just felt like most people would think that I was lying. And that's when I decided to call Daniel Stark. I owe a lot to Daniel Stark. They really got me what I deserved.
The difference is stark.
We definitely love our relationship and love Extraco. It's been an amazing experience.
They made the PPP process easier. They were reaching out to me saying, what can I do to help you? That made a huge difference because my stress level, when we shut down, to afterwards was night and day.
Our experience with Extraco has been phenomenal since the very beginning, so we love Extraco.
With Ease US makes studio quality voiceovers for your videos online in over 149 languages and dialects. Never been easier to create professional grade videos and voiceovers. Try it today at easeus.com. That's EASEUS.com. Ease US.
Hi, I'm Mitch, the co-founder of Cake, a sexual health and wellness company designed for today and designed for you. Yes, you. The entire product line can be found at hellocake.com, and it's also available in every Walmart near you.
Send money abroad in just a few steps with Remitly. Sign up with your email, enter an amount, choose how your loved ones receive the money, enter your recipient's information, select a payment method, hit send, and relax. Download the Remitly app today.
Tervis is all about staying hydrated. Each product is built to last and comes in endless designs to match your personality. Stay refreshed and express yourself with Tervis. Visit tervis.com today and find your perfect tumbler.
Looking for tickets to the hottest shows, games, and events? Ticket Liquidator is your one-stop shop for great prices, no hassles, and guaranteed tickets. Whether it's sports, theater, or concert, for the best seats at the biggest events, start with Ticket Liquidator today at ticketliquidator.com. Ticket Liquidator. The U-Like Air 3, launched in 2023, ushers in a new era of sapphire ice cooling technology, offering nearly painless hair reduction in just 3 weeks. That's ulike.com. U-Like.
The Pete Sousa Show today, why wouldn't it be? A Big 12 extravaganza. That's right. We are going to start the show off with legendary BYU quarterback Robbie Bosco. After Robbie Bosco, we're going to be hearing from Kalani Sitake, courtesy of Inside the 12. I got a chance to talk with Kalani for about 7 minutes on Wednesday morning. And it was literally right after his contract was extended. And he was just amazing. And then after Kalani, we talked to Joey McGuire. So literally, there's no other place you'd rather be than right here, right now, getting ready for the Big 12 title game. Of course, we'll be back Monday to go through all of it, right? I'm actually got a basketball. Of all the weeks, I have a basketball game early in the season on a Saturday, which I guess happens a lot in December, but I got a hoops game on Saturday. Kansas State, Seton Hall on ESPN2. So watch it in the afternoon if you're around. Okay? If you can't watch it, that's fine. I won't hold it against you because you might be celebrating a Big 12 championship if you're fans in Provo, or maybe you just might be celebrating one in Lubbock if you whoever wins. Either way, we'll be back Monday to hash it all out, baby. But yeah, coming up right now, Robbie Bosco. On the eve of probably one of the biggest games in BYU history, we go to a guy who was under center for maybe the last biggest game. Excuse my English, please. In BYU history, 40-some years ago in the Holiday Bowl. It was Robbie Bosco, who we're talking to right now, who engineered the effort that led BYU to a national championship, that win over Michigan in San Diego. Robbie, thank you so much for taking the time to join us. I'm sure you got a busy week, a lot of excitement.
Yeah, there's been a lot going on this past week, so I think the big stuff we got taken care of. Now we're back to the team, and we're ready to go for this game.
I mean, how excited are you, just a broad question, to have Kalani Sitake staying put in Provo with BYU?
Oh, it's huge. I mean, Kalani is the staple to BYU. He is the next Lavelle Edwards. He's done so much, and he does a lot more than people realize with the kids, and that's his dynamic, is making sure the kids are doing the right things and are feeling good about where they're at in their life, and also putting together an amazing football team and over the last couple of years.
Yeah, it's and you mentioned, it's so cool to hear you mention Lavelle Edwards, and I mentioned off the top 1984. I mean, really, it's not just me saying this, trying to get people excited for this game or this interview. It truly is maybe the biggest game since that 84 game. When you think about 84, what is the first moment, image, or emotion that comes to mind for you?
I think what the impact that it had on college football, first of all, and then the impact it had on who we are, who BYU is, and our fan base, and the excitement of, if given the chance, we can do some amazing things here. And so, I mean, that obviously was a great thing. The landscape of college football has changed so much. I'm agreeing with you. This is, maybe since then, the biggest game that we've ever played in. And because there's no denying, if we win this game, what the college football playoff has to do. And so I think we're all excited. The fans are excited. The players are excited. And, you know, we're going into, I mean, Texas Tech is a very, very good football team. So this, no doubt, this is going to be a game that is going to be an easy game to win. We're going to have to play one of our best games, and we'll see what happens.
Now, I'm going to, back to 84 in the history, you know, that was like my first memories of BYU was your team and Danny Ainge too, you know, really kind of put BYU, and sports does this for so many schools, right? But it put BYU center stage. What was it like for you at that time to be the face of a program and a community even, and a school? Did you guys understand some of that responsibility even back then? And did you understand what you were doing was so magical and would move the needle like it did?
Probably at the time, probably not. I mean, it was so brand new to us, and a lot of things had to happen for that to make it possible. I mean, we always felt, at least I always felt, that we needed to be the only undefeated team in all of college football to even have a chance to win the national championship, especially the way it happened back then, where it was all on voting and things like that. So, but as time has gone on, the impact has grown larger and larger, and I think we're all starting to feel it. We probably have felt it probably 15, 20 years ago, but it's even becoming more dynamic. And the great thing is that people talked about it all the time. Whether you are happy that we won it or not, people talked about it. So that's a bonus, and that's what it's all about.
What were in some of the tougher times that season, you know, where you were up against challenges on the field or off the field as a team? Is there a message that you guys carried from Lavelle Edwards into what you did every day that you could share with us? Like, was there something that you still carry with you today from that magical guy?
You know, I think one of the biggest things that he always talked about every single week is not listening to the outside noise. And we can't control how people vote. We can't control what people think, but we can control what we do. And so I think we went into every practice knowing that it was us. I'm not even going to say us against the world, but I'm going to say it was us against a lot of different people. But we took that as kind of a chip on our shoulder, and knowing, because we knew we had a pretty good football team. We had a lot of guys drafted in the NFL. We had a lot of guys that made teams. And so that says a lot about a program, and Will Lavelle brought that too. And so I think as I look back now, I think I take that advice as, look, we can't control what other people are doing on media. If you don't want to listen to it, don't turn on your radio, turn on your Twitter, or all those kind of things. But we can't control who we are and what we're all about, and we need to represent BYU the best way we can.
Do you remember that day? I mean, I'm sure you do, but even getting ready to go to the stadium, old Jack Murphy, like to take on Bo Schembechler and Michigan, like where was your head at as a young man going into that day, on that day?
Well, I mean, it was crazy, Pete. I mean, as the season progressed, it just got bigger and bigger and bigger. I mean, the media was at all the practices all the time. But during that game, it was something larger than I think we could even imagine. The stands were packed. The sidelines were packed. The media was there. Kind of like, what is this BYU team all about? And we knew that this was it. I got hurt early in the game, and my thought was, no, I can't miss this game. This is the biggest game that BYU has ever played in any sport, and I've got to be a part of it. And so it was huge. And so I think we all took that as just go out there and play the very best we can, and we'll see what happens. I mean, we made some big mistakes in that game. I think we had about 4 or 5 turnovers.
Yeah.
And our defense was amazing. It was a top 10 defense all year, and it just proved that the outcome was what we wanted and needed.
When you look at BYU this year, I mean, what Bear Bachmeier is doing more and more, it's just like, wow, this is historic now, right? Like as we move into that, what has been unique about his body of work this year that has grabbed you?
Well, I think it's just his overall game. I mean, I am shocked, to be totally honest, what he's been able to accomplish. And I can't give enough credit to Aaron Roderick, our offensive coordinator, who has brought Bear along kind of slowly. It probably took maybe 4 or 5 games where he really gave him a lot of the offense to work with. And for a rookie to come in and not really having an idea he was going to be the guy until late July or early August, it's remarkable what he's done. I mean, I see Bear I almost see him every day, and he's just got a great demeanor. He almost has a demeanor kind of like Kalani. He's just very nice, very soft-spoken, but when it's game time, he's ready to roll. And each time I see him, he seems to get bigger and bigger. Like the hugs are getting stronger. I'm like, man, Bear, you are one strong guy. But he's been remarkable, and to say that, I can't give enough credit to Jay Hill, our defensive coordinator. Our defense has played super good this year.
Yeah.
Phelan has been stellar, and everybody has just come together kind of like Kalani wants as a team. And it's been a remarkable season so far.
I'm fortunate enough. We do this show inside the 12 here. It goes out all over. But the guy I do it with was a quarterback at Rice, Taylor McCarg. And he talks about exactly what you're saying, how BYU has done such a tremendous job of keeping Bear Bachmeier out of difficult situations, right? Because of the way the defense plays, because of the way special teams play even. And he's not usually, and Aaron Roderick's game plan, right? He's not usually behind the sticks on 3rd down, where he has to really shoulder a lot. In this game against Texas Tech, I mean, a scary opponent. That front 7 is terrifying. Anything different you think BYU needs to do to make sure they keep that going, keep him working out of situations where he can be successful?
Yeah, I think we need some bigger plays. I think this past game against Central Florida, we started throwing the ball over the middle a little bit, and we made some bigger plays. And so I think getting the ball, staying away from third and long situations is probably the biggest thing. And then Bear taking control of the ball and not making some big mistakes and turnovers like we had last time we played them. But I think we just got to be consistent. It's hard against teams like this to sustain long drives. So somehow we got to get the ball and make some bigger plays after we catch it or run it.
You know, there's something bigger going on out of BYU, and I feel like it spills out. It spills from the team chemistry and the vibe around the squad and the school onto Saturdays, right? Where they've been having this great success. And I look at it from like a totality point, like, you know, it was a mystery who the quarterback was going to be. But then all of a sudden, the quarterback now is having a historic season. What do you attribute that to? Is that Kalani Sitake, that facilitation of really being elite over the past 2 years, 22-3 over those past 2 years right now? Like, what to you has enabled the program to do that, even in the most difficult of times, find their way through it and still be successful?
I think the biggest thing is you want to play for Kalani. When he's out recruiting, when he's with the parents of recruits, you get a feeling of, this guy is going to take care of my son. I want this guy to come to BYU. And we are seeing more and more players. I mean, look, it is the day of the transfer portal. People are coming to BYU where we didn't have a chance before, probably. And so, and I think that's the love of Kalani, of what he portrays to everybody. And it's not fake either. That's who he is. And I think that's a big deal. I mean, Bear coming from Stanford and his brother,
yeah,
he really had no affiliation with BYU other than what BYU is about, and they love it. They love it here, and there's more and more players on that team that are just like that.
When a team like a BYU team like this really starts to gain momentum, and you can tell this is serious business, do you start to connect more with your former teammates and alums about what's happening? And if so, like, who are you in touch with?
Well, yeah, I mean, look, at everybody's excited about what BYU's doing. It's a family and an extended family. It's not just about the 84 team or the team that you made a play on. People are pumped about this. So I see Glenn Kozlowski quite a bit, and I talked to him on the phone. And he before this year, he may have come to one game, and I've seen him at 3 or 4 games this year. And so he's cheering on the Cougars just like all of us are, and it's just super exciting. Regardless of what happens this Saturday, BYU's in a good place, and they're doing some good things, and hopefully we can get more respect and get more noticed where we should be.
Yeah, I hear that respect being a common thread. And even as a guy who does a lot with the Big 12, I do feel like there is a little bit of that juice from around the country, right? And sometimes we see it in the rankings. Like, in my opinion, there's no way BYU isn't as good as Notre Dame, right? I don't think they should have to win this game to get in. In fact, I do believe if they lose by less than 7 points, the committee will probably do the right thing and they'll get in. That's just my hunch. But it's special what's happening, but I also think, the Big 12 doesn't get enough credit. When you look at the overall landscape of college football, where do you put the Big 12 among those other conferences? Just from a broad perspective, right? Somebody who knows the game, watches the game, and has a real pulse on BYU and the Big 12.
Well, I think RG3 said it the best in one of the games that he did for us. He's like, isn't this a Power 4 conference?
Yeah.
The Big 12 is in the Power 4. So how are 2 loss teams ahead of BYU when they're only a 1 loss team? And so, I mean, if all fairness is fair, the game that we lost is to the 4th ranked team in the country. I don't know if Texas Tech is getting the respect they deserve on how good they really are and how good the Big 12 is. And so, I mean, that's really all I have to say about it. I just think that if we're going to be labeled in the Power Four, then treat us like a Power Four conference and put the teams that deserve in the college playoff system.
All right, last question for you. What does BYU need to do? In your opinion, the number one thing, if we're talking about BYU Sunday morning having won the game and heading to the college football playoff.
So how are 2-loss teams ahead of BYU when they're only a 1-loss team? And so, I mean, if all fairness is fair, the game that we lost is to the 4th-ranked team in the country. I don't know if Texas Tech is getting the respect they deserve on how good they really are and how good the Big 12 is. And so, I mean, that's really all I have to say about it. I just think that if we're going to be labeled in the Power Four, then treat us like a Power Four conference and put the teams that deserve in the college playoff system.
All right, last question for you. What does BYU need to do? In your opinion, the number one thing, if we're talking about BYU Sunday morning having won the game and heading to the college football playoff, what happened? What went right for the Cougars on Saturday in Arlington?
I would say they took care of the ball. They didn't have turnovers. They controlled the clock. LJ ran the ball like he has been doing all season. But out of all those things right there, I would say turnovers would be the biggest thing.
Man, I can't tell you how much it means, Robbie, to hang with you just for a little bit. You're a legend, and I look forward to the success from BYU on Saturday and continued in the future. But really do have a lot of gratitude for you taking the time this morning.
Thanks, Pete. Great being on your show.
Serving Central Texas since 1889, TFNB, your bank for life, takes pride in being more than a bank. At TFNB, we remain committed to these principles. If you value them too, come join us. TFNB, your bank for life.
Bubble allows you to make it real and for it to actually work. So I feel like Bubble bridges that gap and being able to give people the opportunity to make their ideas come to life really quickly too. I love that I can sit down and build something the way that I think it should be built and have the control over it.
Bubble turns ideas into fully scalable apps. Try Bubble today.
Hi, I'm Jo from Face Theory. You're going to want to have a specific goal for your skincare routine. What do you want to achieve? Active ingredients are really strong, and if you're using too many at once, your skin can get overwhelmed. Don't overspend on products. Choose products that have scientific research behind them. At Face Theory, if you're not happy with a product, just say so, just give us a shout and we'll give you your money back, no problem.
I know you're gonna love this Kodak Dot Plus printer. You guys just connect it to your smartphone and then you're gonna use the Kodak Photo Print app. It's going to print you a 4x6 photo. I am just in awe. I love how these turned out. Also, the printer comes with a free cartridge of 10 photo sheets. I can assure you, you are going to love this printer as much as my family has. You guys have to check it out for yourself.
Streamline event and appointment booking with Amelia's sleek, modern, and fully customizable booking forms. Tailor the colors, fonts, and design to match your brand and seamlessly integrate with your WordPress website. Whether it's for events or appointments, Amelia makes booking simple, stylish, and perfectly aligned with your business. Enhance your booking experience today at WPAmelia.com. That's WPAMELIA.com. Amelia.
When you learn a language with Babbel, you start a journey that takes you further and further. Anytime and anywhere you wish. It's easy and fun. Broadens your horizons and keeps your brain fit. A journey into new thoughts, new cultures, new adventures. So what are you waiting for? Start your journey with Babbel now. Go to babbel.com or download the app.
BadCreditLoans.com is a pioneering service provider that has carved a reputation in the financial industry for its dedication to helping individuals with bad credit secure loans. By making timely repayments, borrowers can gradually repair their credit history, thereby increasing their chances of securing better loan terms in the future. BadCreditLoans.com serves as a beacon of hope for those with bad credit. Simple, fast, and reliable loan application process. And its commitment to responsible borrowing makes it a trusted partner in the journey towards financial stability.
Scotty, how we doing? Do I look all right? I'm trying to get this. I have this whole thing, this whole setup here. I am okay. It's kind of, I'm trying.
You look great, bro.
I'm trying to, I'm doing this on the fly. Okay. Who's just talking to you?
Oh, Mike and Lizzie are in here,
Okay.
Just doing the thing.
And so we're getting Kevin in a little bit, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I will let you know.
We're going to go Kevin Hall. We're going to do his picks. And then actually we have a special engagement coming up. We have Katie George joining us from ESPN, right? So we're literally, I'll tell you guys exactly what happened. So we were planning on doing a show today that was going to be all taped. And then we heard that Katie George could join us. So we were super pumped. And we were like, yeah, we got to make that happen. So in order to make that happen, we had to move some things around. So lest anyone think that this is like a well-oiled machine up here when I come to North Texas. It is not, because I'm on my own. But we're doing the best we can. A lot of crazy stuff has happened over the last 24 hours in my life. We'll get to it later. But everything is good. Long story short, I got hit by I got in an accident yesterday. I got literally run off the road. It was an accident by an 18-wheeler. I'm okay. The car is not, but here we are. We have insurance and we have gratitude and we have health, which is the most important thing. So as we wait on Kevin, Scotty, let's take one more break because I'm not quite ready here. There's a million things going on. And then we will come back. We'll do our picks with Kevin, and then we'll go into Katie George. Katie, this is your Texas Tech place to come because Katie has obviously the Big 12 title game this weekend, and she is going to be covering Texas Tech. So we're going to dive into Texas Tech with her, and then we got our interview with Joey McGuire and our interview with Kalani Sitake. So a huge day. We're loving it. We'll be back in a moment. Thanks, guys.
Overwhelmed by your inbox? Clean Email is here to help. Organize, clean, and manage your emails with powerful automation tools. Say goodbye to spam and clutter and enjoy a stress-free inbox. Try Clean Email today at cleanemail.com.
What if you could clean clean? With bio-based formulas and deep cleaning enzymes. No dyes, phthalates, or mystery ingredients. Just powerful pods for your dishes and laundry. Now you can, with drops made clean, made to clean.
Welcome to Kitbag, the ultimate destination for football fans. Whether you're cheering for Arsenal, Chelsea, Manchester United, or any other top club, for true football passion, think Kitbag. Visit kitbag.com today. That's KITBAG.com. Kitbag.
It's the Restore Clarity Focus Patch, my little secret weapon for staying sharp, focused, and on task. Each box comes with simple instructions inside, so you always know exactly how to apply it. Each patch lasts for 3 days. I love that I can wear it all day.
Samsonite is the world leader in durable, high-quality luggage and travel accessories. Travel with Samsonite and pack confidence every step of the way. Shop now at shop.samsonite.com. Samsonite. At Toussaint's, we understand that maintaining a healthy lifestyle can be challenging, especially in today's fast-paced world. That's why our mission is to make fitness accessible to everyone, anywhere. Visit Toussaint's.com today and start your journey to better health. That's TOUSAINS.com.
A house is a property, but we live in homes. Home sweet home. Homes where the heart is. We aim to deliver the best home buying and selling experience so you can spend less time real estating and more time living.
Unlock a world of convenience with Mully Box, your one-stop solution for personalized subscription boxes delivered right to your door. Each box is tailored to your taste. Mullybox.com. That's MULLYBOX.com.
Better sleep, inspired by nature. Your back, hips, and shoulders will fall into perfect alignment in any position, meaning that you get deeper, more comfortable rest. Visit ecoterrabeds.com.
It's the Pete Sousa Show. Sports, Pete.
Welcome to Market XLS, your all-in-one Excel solution for investors. Designed as an enterprise-grade platform, Market XLS caters to investment managers, secure and efficient investment management and research. Book your free demo.
Everybody at Equalife really has a passion and a real interest in helping people feel well. How much further can we go to get you feeling even better? It is a complete partnership between the two of us.
So all you have to do is tap your Popple to the back of someone's phone, like that, and they instantly get your social media and contact info right on their screen. They don't need an app or a Popple to receive your info. So get your Popple today and start impressing everyone you meet. Make it pop.
It's hard to find supplements that work. No, thank you. Plant-based supplements made from the Earth's most powerful plants for your immune health, gut health, workouts, and more. Find out more at auraorganic.com.
Stability.
All right, here we are. We're back. Looking a little better now. I just was at a haircut appointment before this. Again, we're moving things around because we didn't know we were going to have a show today, but we are pumped to be live with you. Kevin is ready to rock and roll. Kev, what do you got, baby? There he is. Hey. All right, let's get some picks on. Kev, I can't hear you, man.
Let's just start with the records, all right? Pete, you're 28-23, 2 games back. Scotty's 30-21. So we were going to do – so Liam and I did Thursday Night Football, so you have to go back and check 365 Indiana Sports to see what we picked in that game. One of us got it right. One of us got it wrong. You have to see which one did that. So we're going to start with the Bengals at the Bills. Burrow is all the way back, or it's Buffalo in December? What do you think? We're going to start with Pete since he's got to make up some ground here.
I'm going with Joe Burrow. I picked him last week in a parlay, a personal parlay that I lost, but he held up his end of the bargain. So I'm riding with Joe B right now.
Oh, I love it, Scotty. I'll pick against you here. Let's go, Bills. Josh Allen in December. Wow. Okay. I mean, it is hard to pick against that. And then the next one is the Steelers at the Ravens. The winner of this one will be the best in the division. Only one game above 500. That's how bad that division is. Currently, no team above 500. Scotty, start with you.
Pittsburgh's got something to prove. Mike Tomlin's got something to prove. Aaron Rodgers has got something to prove. Give me the Steelers.
All right. Is not even going to play? I don't know.
I'm going with Baltimore. I actually picked the Steelers yesterday when Scotty and I did this, but I've changed my mind.
Split it down the middle.
Well, curveball for you, pal. That's what going second will get you.
Yeah,
we're gonna look back at this week as the difference at the end of the
when
season.
Scotty just dominated.
Oh, right now, Pete could make up the difference. We'll see. The next one, Bears at Packers. Bears going shirtless for the chokehold in the division. Pete.
Bears. I like the Bears. They're a 6.5-point underdog, I think. So it will behoove me to actually, in real life, bet them because I like them in this game. Chicago.
There you go. Scotty.
You know, as good as the Bears have been this season, there are still headlines coming out this week about Ben Johnson ripping apart Caleb Williams and the passing attack. That tension in that building is not going away. And I did pick the Packers preseason to make the Super Bowl, so I've got some pride on the line. Give me the pack.
Wow. We are all different. Here we go. Then we got Houston at the Chiefs. Will the dirty Houston defense be able to do anything against Mr. Crybaby Kermit back there? We are going to start this one with Scotty. Yep.
I'm not on board with Kevin Hall's Patrick Mahomes hate. However, I am on board with the DeMeco Ryans agenda, and I am on board with the Jalen Petrie agenda. Always give me the Texans, baby.
Now, this just a few days ago, it was the Man of the Year candidate was announced. You want to hear the biggest joke in the world? Houston's candidate is Aziz. Like, one of the NFL's most wanted is being put up for
Yeah, and I love that, dude. That shows you can be an absolute beast on the field, and off the field you can be a gentle giant.
Love people off the field. That's right.
Yeah.
All right, Pete, what do you think? Houston or Chiefs?
You know, I'm moved to take Houston because I watched that amazing Bum Phillips documentary I told you guys about earlier this week. But I'm going to go with the Chiefs, especially now. Again, I'm batting in the bottom half of the inning here. It's a home game. If I have a chance to make up ground on Swingler, I'm taking any edge I can get. Let's get a full game up on them here. I'm going with the Chiefs.
We are party lines all the way across. Wow. Okay.
Time for some fireworks, Kevin.
Here we go. Pete's going to love this one. He's up first. Eagles at the Chargers, the slipping Eagles or the surviving Chargers. What do you think, Pete?
I got to go with the Eagles just because, one, I think the game is a complete toss-up, and two, I don't want to ever pick against my Eagles and weird karma rooting against them somehow, like a threat of that. Like, I don't even like, oh, well, if they lose, at least I'll gain, half a game on Scotty or whatever. Nah, forget it. I'm going with the Eagles 1,000% because, again, it's 50-50.
Herbert is playing with the broken hand on his non-throwing hand. Scotty?
Yeah, as much as I want to keep the trend going, I think Philadelphia's a pretty superior team despite the slump lately. So I'll take the Eagles as well.
I think it would be funny if the Eagles, this was the only game that y'all both picked wrong. The same. Okay, so here we go. Last one. This was going to be the extra point, but since we're doing it a day late, here we go. We won't do this one until our show tonight on 365 Indiana Sports. Colts at Jaguars. This one is for the top in the division, and the Colts have not won in Duval since 2014, but they broke their long streak of not winning a home opener in week 1 this year. Can they break this one? We're going to start with Scotty.
No, they can't. I told you after the Colts let me down earlier this year, I'm never picking them for the rest of the season. Give me the Jags.
All right.
I meant it.
Makes sense. Pete?
Oh, I'm going with Carly, baby. Let's go. Colts. Come on now. She's one of the best stories. It's funny. She remains one of the best stories in the NFL, but because we kind of exhausted that story early in the season, we've kind of gotten away from it. But Kev, here's the story. If you guys can put together a run, like that'll become a really great, feature for the AFC Championship game. So just keep your fingers crossed, bro.
It is the Colts schedule the rest of the way. It could be the biggest meltdown we've ever seen, or it at this point could be the biggest upswing because they go at the Jaguars. They still play at Houston the last week of the season. They still have Jaguars at home. And in between there, they got to go to Seattle and have the Niners at home on Monday Night Football on a game. So who knows at this point for the Colts? But what we do know is there's a team playing tomorrow that has a chance to do something incredible.
Here we go.
And And you can go back and check out our preview of Indiana, Ohio State. But there's all this talk of Indiana and their weak schedule. But they went to Penn State. Yes, it was different, but Penn State was on a
They won at Alson.
And they broke an 18-game win streak of Oregon at home.
Yeah.
Gave Oregon their first ever Big Ten loss in the Big Ten since they had joined 2 years ago. Who has Ohio State? Look at their schedule. They are living at number one off of last season. Dave finally beat Michigan for the first time since he's been the coach of Ohio State. Ohio State is ripe for the picking. They have not seen a defense like this that confuses a quarterback like that. And saying is what saying is. I'm just saying he's a freshman, and red shirt or not, he's still green back there. And I will say this: Indiana is the only team in the Big Ten to rush for over 300 yards in a single game this season. Only one.
Okay.
You know how many times they've done it? 5. Say what you will, but we're going to find out exactly where everything stands Saturday night in Indianapolis.
I can't wait. Look, I got Indiana, just so you know.
Welcome to the train, Pete.
I'm on it. I'm on it.
Welcome aboard.
I really like what Signetti's doing, and I don't want to be the last person to the party, like Scotty's saying. I think this is something special, right? And so I do not want to miss out on this.
Kevin, can I ask you a question real quick before we take a break? All these coordinators are finally starting to get kind of picked off the board for these head coaching jobs. Hartline at USF, Will Stein at Kentucky. What is keeping Indiana's? I would think that both offensive and defensive coordinator there would be high targets for some of these open jobs. What's keeping them there at Indiana?
I think I will defer to Aiden Fisher, the linebacker who followed Signetti. He said, it is Signetti. Signetti is what brings people. He is what holds people, because there is something about that guy and how he runs things, how he develops players, and how he loves his coaches as well, that makes them come and makes them stick. There's a reason all those players followed him from JMU. There's a reason that Fernando Mendoza came from Cal. It didn't just have to do with the fact that his brother was on the team already, although watch out for Alberto next year for Indiana, because that's already started. The answer is Signetti. The same reason that the program took such a turn in 1 year is the same reason why all of those guys will die on the hill for that guy, I believe.
There you have it. There you go. You said it all. Scotty, anything else?
No, I'm good. Let's take a break so we can get Katie George in here.
Way to go, Kev. Appreciate you, dude. Go Colts. Yep. Go Carly. We'll be back.
Oops.
Chicks. There you go, Scotty. It's cool. Okay. Now we're going
to It doesn't matter if your investment budget is small or big. All you need is Benzinga Pro and its powerful news alerts, price tracking, and portfolio monitoring. Subscribe now, and we'll skyrocket your portfolio today.
Experience with the Bosley MD hair regrowth kit was amazing. It was easy to use. It let me take off my hat. I could go in public and have my picture taken and feel normal again.
BosleyMD.com.
Join us at golfpartnerusa.com and discover why we're the trusted choice for golf lovers worldwide. That's GOLFPARTNERUSA.com. Golf Partner. Experience the future of secure private cloud storage with Internix. Protect your files with end-to-end encryption, ensuring your data stays private and accessible only to you. That's INTERNXT.com today.
Apollo Neuro is a new kind of wearable that helps your body recover from stress, that helps you calm down and feel better. You sleep better, and you can get back to being yourself. Learn more at apolloneuro.com.
Protect your online privacy with NordVPN. Browse securely, access content from anywhere, and keep your data safe with military-grade encryption. NordVPN.com. That's NORDVPN.com.
Our patented handles were launched in 2018. We continue to push the boundaries of strength training. Join us in making your training more natural and effective. Visit Engels90.com to learn more and revolutionize your workout.
Dive into adventure with Scuba.com, your ultimate destination for top-tier scuba and snorkeling gear. Whether you're a beginner or a pro, trust Scuba.com for the best in diving equipment and expert guidance. Explore now at Scuba.com. That's SCUBA.com. Scuba.com. At Fullwell, we bring together the expertise of registered dietitians, MDs, and OBGYNs to give you the best fertility support. Fullwell, your trusted partner on your fertility journey. Visit us at FullwellFertility.com. Experience the perfect blend of exquisite craftsmanship and life-changing technology with Gevi. Every product is built with precision, featuring specialized parts that ensure durability, efficiency, and safety. Upgrade your everyday with Gevi. Visit us at gevi.com to discover more.
All right, it's the Pete Sousa Show. We are back. We are live in Dallas, Texas. The Flower Mound area, getting ready to hit the road. College hoops tomorrow, Seton Hall and Kansas State on ESPN2. Pumped to do that. So I'm not in Waco in the studio with Scotty and the gang, but we're going to go to Arlington where Katie George is getting set to call the Big 12 title game down on the sidelines. Katie, you are on the Texas Tech beat all over it this week. It is, for us, we've been covering Tech all year long, doing a lot of Big 12 stuff. And the situation has just been, first of all, can you talk real quick?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, here, great. Okay. Just want to do a little sound check. So all year long, you know, we talk about how this team really has been built as opposed to bought. I mean, you could say logistically, sure, they've been bought. But what have you learned about kind of the semblance of this team, you know, over the course of the season, obviously covering college football like you do, and then deep diving into it and being ground zero this week?
Yeah, it's interesting. So I had an opportunity to go to the Big 12 Media Days here in Arlington. I believe it was in Arlington. I'm like, where? That seems like
yeah. It was in the Star. Yeah.
Yeah, so I covered Big 12 Media Days, and kind of that was the first time I was diving into the fact that, you know, so much was made about the NIL deals and how much money was put into this roster, right? And so you enter into the season thinking, how's this going to go? Like, certainly they paid for a lot of players and they went out and got great players. But I think Joey McGuire is such a fantastic coach in the way that he doesn't just identify talent with his staff. I think he truly identifies great people that are going to be cultural fits. And so we've often seen, like, over the years, especially when NIL opened up, like, you know, management, or however you want to say it, coaches would go out and they'd spend a lot of money. And, you know, I think of specific examples like a Florida State. Like, it worked really well for Mike Norvell one year, but then it also can backfire in it. And if it doesn't go well immediately and you take a loss or two, with so many different personalities in the locker room, so many different identities, you know, locker rooms can fracture, they can splinter. And so I was really curious to see how this, not so much experiment, was going to work in Texas Tech, but I was just curious to see how much success they would have immediately, if they'd grow into it, if they'd be able to sustain it from the get-go. And I've just been really impressed watching from afar, because, as you know, we all cover different conferences. My crew, we do a lot of SEC football. So I did the Big 12 Media Days, and then I haven't had a Big 12 game all season long. And then we come in for the biggest game of the season in the title game. And so you're trying to kind of play catch up of, you know, how did this season really go for this team? And I've just been really impressed with the fact that they brought in so many different guys, but they had such a sound, established culture under Joey McGuire and the mainstays that have been there and who they built this program around, like a Jacob Rodriguez, right? Obviously, Baron Morton would be a name that you would throw out. I've just been really impressed how they brought in these pieces, and then they got the continuity and chemistry from the get-go, it seems. And yes, they've had a hiccup, right, middle of the season, but when they lost to Arizona State, I was talking to some of the guys, and they said, that was kind of a wake-up call for us. And the fact that we said, are we just going to lay down and be like a 6-win Texas Tech team of the past? Like, you know, that's normally what happens in Lubbock. Or are we going to, you know, respond the right way and have a really special season? And I've just been really impressed with the way that they responded from that game in particular, but just the high level and consistency that they've played with all year long.
You know, on your crew, right, Joe Tess is one of the best to ever do it. But, you know, as far as I know, he didn't play Division I college sports. You did. Right. So, and you know what a locker room is like, right?
Mm-hmm.
There probably is a little bit of that investigative journalist side of you when you get under the hood with a team like this. And it's like, okay, it's hard to make all this stuff cohesive, right? If there's one part of this team that you're looking to feature on Saturday, tomorrow, for this huge game, what's a storyline or a player that you're going to present or talk about? Or we know once the game starts, it's like maybe your storylines totally switch or whatever, but you probably have a list like this long, right, of all the stuff you have ideas to talk about. Yeah, is there a guy who's kept that locker room together and a guy who could serve as maybe the steward for a lot of the young guys and maybe the big money guys too, to keep egos in check and to help young guys help lift up the bottom?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think a couple names come to mind. Certainly, Barron comes to mind in terms of just the toughness that he plays with. I mean, you look at his career, he's had so many different injuries. I mean, the guy has been playing essentially through an injury for the last 3 seasons. And I just think his commitment to the team, his toughness that he shows, he finally has come out of his boot this week. That was big news. I'm sure he probably felt like he was finally getting out of jail and he got a little bit of freedom. I'm excited to tell some of his stories. And this is, I'm literally looking, I don't know if I can turn that. This is my hotel room. I'm looking at the stadium. If you can.
That's beautiful Arlington, baby. I love it. Yeah.
This is his first time getting to play in this venue. He never got the opportunity in high school with his dad. I actually just got off the phone with his dad, and the two of them were talking earlier this week, and we're finally going to AT&T. He was like, Dad, we're finally getting to do it. And for him to be a Texas kid, a Lubbock kid, to be able to, hopefully be a part of the group that brings, Texas Tech its first Big 12 title, I think means a great deal to him and to his family. So there's tons of stories with Barron, but I think Jacob Rodriguez is some of the, somebody that you mentioned, has kept this locker room together, as somebody who has, helped build the culture under Joey McGuire, and somebody who, has joined, recently would be a David Bailey, a Romello Height. I mean, I was looking at David Bailey's stats, just coming into this game, and I thought they were typos. I was like, no way has he had 12 and a half sacks for a loss of 114. What are we talking about? That's outrageous. And his teammates will tell you the same. They're like, his stats are laughable, but he's been so much fun to watch, as well as Romello Height. And I think that, they went all in on this D line. And so I'm really curious to see what it looks like in person. Because as you know, when you're on the sidelines, it's one thing to watch on TV and it's great. But when you're actually on the sidelines and you see the size and the speed and the power of some of these guys, I'm really excited to see how that maybe matches or compares to some of the SEC defensive lines that I've seen up close so far this season, especially as we start turning our attention to the CFP.
Yeah, it's an amazing time of year. And you mentioned being down on the sidelines. I'm curious, I got a little more time with you. I want to ask you about your prep, your job, how you go about it. You show up at the stadium, and I think that I think sometimes it's overlooked, the grit that comes with being a reporter. You're down on the turf pregame, and you will have conversations that can be enlightening and can lead to, if it's on the record, some really big time storylines during, maybe it's the open or, into the first quarter. How do you navigate all that? When you show up to a stadium, obviously there's hits you have to do for certain shows and whatnot, but in between, when you have time, are you talking to people and trying to just gather information? Not like you're digging or being a Woody Woodpecker type deal, but you're trying to figure out if you cool things that you can use in the game.
Yeah, no, it's a great question. And everybody's kind of, I guess, prep or, approach is a little bit different. I have conversations throughout the week leading into the game. So, I've talked to a couple players, earlier on in the week, and then we're going to meet with Joey and his staff later this afternoon when they get to Arlington. And so that gives you a lot of background, right? And a lot of good storylines if, it works into the broadcast. If the guys in the booth are talking about, Jacob Rodriguez or Barron, and I've got a story that I can add to further that story and what they're discussing, then I'll jump in. But to your point, a lot of it stems from being boots on the ground. And so, injuries are so imperative. So if you know that a guy's been banged up, right? Certainly Barron has been banged up throughout the course of the season. Jacob Rodriguez had a wrist, like whatever it may be. Pre-game, you come in and you want to watch warm-ups and you want to watch those guys to see if there's any issue or if they've got extra, tape, or if they've got, a cast or something that's different than what we've seen in the past. So a lot of like pre-game is observations. And then you do go kind of make the rounds to say hi to position group coaches, the coordinators, see if you can get like anything extra, especially if you have like a game time decision that's going to really move the needle. So you're always gathering information from like the start of when you're getting a game to actually kick off. And then I think for me, I have some of those pre-stories that I mentioned like in the can that I certainly want to get to if they're really good. But to your point, the game dictates what makes sense and what doesn't. And so I think the boots on the ground live reports of conversations you're seeing between a position, if it's the offensive line coordinator or offensive line coach talking to his O-line, what those conversations are like. Certainly if there's an injury, but like if, Barron throws an interception, what's his reaction? Who's the first person he's talking to on the sideline? How is he responding? What's his demeanor like post that? If the team gets down by 10 points going into halftime, like what's the vibe? Jesse Palmer, who's our analyst, he loves kind of hearing those sorts of stories and updates. And then, most people don't know this. So much of sideline reporting is not even what gets on air, like my voice or, me on camera. It's all the stuff that you're doing in talkback. You're telling your producer and your director, hey, so-and-so's doing this on the sidelines. You need to get a shot of that. And then they'll show a shot of it. And then the guys talk about it up in the booth. So like you really don't have any part of it on air, but you were the one who kind of sideline produced it and orchestrated the story from the ground. And sometimes I walk away from games feeling my best or most proud when like I was heavy on talkback, kind of getting shots and helping telling stories that don't even have to, involve me.
That's my next question with you. By the way, Jeff Evers, right? He's like the Martin Scorsese of directors, right? He takes care of business. He's one of my favorite guys ever. He's a really
traitor.
good dude.
You can tell him I said that. He was my director for 4 or 5 years, and then he went on to
bounced.
Yeah, haven't heard from him. Don't even know if he cares about my well-being.
We're gonna give him a little crap for that.
Yeah. We should.
So when I mentioned you being an athlete, like how to kind of move around these rooms and these fields and stadiums pregame. How does that impact your ability to report or the way you go about reporting? There's a certain knowledge, I would imagine, and know-how and also respect of the craft because it is a game day that's happening, that you keep in mind that I would imagine some people in your position may not because they never had the opportunity to have your experience.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think my time in a locker room and my time being in huddles on the sidelines really has helped me in terms of I know where to look and when to look, if that makes sense. Yes. So, because a lot of times when you go into a huddle, you're watching the head coach. Like I think about like NBA, right? Like you go in, you're watching the head coach, and oftentimes in the NBA, they're just like drawing up like an ATO and like they're not really giving like a whole lot of information. But because I've been on that bench before, if you will, I know that some of the best info or the best sites are the star player being at the end of the bench talking to a true freshman or a younger player and coaching them up. And so your eyes don't necessarily have to be on coach. Your eyes need to be taking in everything else that's happening. And I just think that because I've been on the bench, because I've been in huddles, I know where to look and what to listen for. I also think it gives you a good feel for what's important and what's not. And I also think too, like to your point, when to protect coaches and when it's worth saying it on air. And I like to pride myself in there's things that happen on sidelines that you're like, oh, they don't want that out there. And I wouldn't want that out there if I was the athlete. And so I think part of my job too is protecting the athlete, protecting the coach, or softening the message, paraphrasing in a way that gets the message across, but not verbatim word for word. Using the curse words and whatever that's used. And so, but visually, when I was talking about like getting a shot of it, you can paraphrase what a coach is saying if he's irate and losing it on a position group, and people can see how upset he is when you visually support it with what you're saying. But I do think that there's a respect that I certainly have for the coaches and student athletes because I know to a degree what they're going through. And I know how hard it is. And what they're chasing with conference championships and trying to obviously, vie for a national title. And so I do think that background certainly helps to a degree.
Yeah, I think it helps a great deal. And I think it's helped you be elite at your job. And it put you in a position this summer where you're going from the U.S. Open to the NBA playoffs to the U.S. Open to, and then you're at media days with us at the Big 12. Like, how have you managed that as far as your career kind of opening up? I'm sure in the way that you had hoped and worked towards, but with that comes responsibility and workload. How do you in your life just handle all that stuff? Because when you're on camera, it's gotta look seamless. I mean, we all, we're human beings, right? But you have to be smooth to a degree, right?
Oh, for sure. And I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, it's a compartmentalization, I think, is the best way to describe it. I think the perfect example, like last year I did an NBA game. Like 2 years later, I did the Final Four for women's college volleyball. And it was in Louisville, my hometown, and where I played. And I just covered Peyton Pritchard of the Celtics. And in the Open 2 nights later, there's a volleyball player for Louisville. Her name's Peyton Peterson. And in the Open live, I say, well, and Peyton Pritchard is coming off a fan. And I'm like, no, Peyton, and so you just have you have so many names constantly in your head when you're covering different sports, which can make it difficult. And to your point, we're human, we make mistakes.
Yeah.
But I do think, like, for me, I am my most confident and I feel smoothest on air when I am prepared. And so, I'll go into this game tomorrow with so many great stories and things that I want to accomplish, and 10% might get on air. Yeah. But I feel good going into the game because I'm 100, that other 90% of work and stories and prep makes me feel confident. And so I just try to be a student of the game, essentially, no matter what sport, I'm covering. And you mentioned US Open. That was probably the biggest learning curve. Like, I've always watched, Grand Slams, major tennis, but I've never covered it boots on the ground. And so that was really fun and different. But I'm used to covering team sports, right?
Yes.
I'm not used to covering individual athletes. I'm also not used to a language barrier. So that was the first time I've covered, a sport with international flavor and flair. And so how do you kind of change your questions to make sure that, it's comprehended in a good way? That was difficult for me and something that I kind of had to change my style and my approach for. But I pride myself in versatility, and I always want to be game or up for, if a boss says, hey, do you want to cover this? We need to do this? I want to be buttoned up and I want to do the best job that I can. And I feel like that always just starts with preparation.
Yeah, the preparation for me breeds a lot of confidence. I'll leave you with this. By the way, look, we got Muhammad Ali right here. We got this Louisville Slugger. We're talking to you. But I had a Kansas State, Arizona State basketball game last year, and Kansas State had a guy named Brandon Hawson, and he was known as the Amarillo Assassin. He drills a couple threes, and I'm like crushing it. I think my calls are awesome. I'm saying his nickname. And then I see these GIFs on Twitter after the game. I called him the Armadillo Assassin, not the Amarillo. So there's pictures of armadillos with M60s in Kansas State uniforms. And the dude, it actually picked up traction. So he was known as like the Armadillo Assassin. Hey, you just roll with it.
Listen, the Genesis, you created it. And I kind of think Armadillo Assassin sounds better. So
thank you very much.
I'm into it. I like it. I like that better. That's hilarious.
Well, we look forward to seeing you on Saturday tomorrow. Thank you so much, Katie, for taking the time. Seriously, I know you're super busy today. Yeah. No. Good luck. And, we'll talk soon, but way to go.
Great. CP, thanks.
You got it. Katie George right there. Yeah, I love the fact that, not only is she amazing at her job, but when you're a former athlete, and it's not like being critical of people who aren't, but I do believe that you can draw on a lot of that, your experience and your ability to manage situations when you're not on camera. And I think that part of her evolution and the fact that we see her as much as we do is because she's so good at that. So yeah, I look forward to catching her tomorrow. And then of course I got my game. So I'll be calling that right after the Big 12 championship. That's Seton Hall, Kansas State. You can watch it on ESPN, ESPNU, I think, or ESPN2. I'd have to check. Just go call up both. All right. You can't lose. And we are now going to roll interviews that we did earlier in the week with Kalani Sitake and Joey McGuire. We want you to enjoy them. We will be back on Monday with a full recap of all this stuff. Specifically, we're not only going to be talking about the Big 12 championship and its fallout, but ultimately we'll be drilling down on the college football playoff. It's time. All right, and I cannot wait. Scotty Swingler, great job back in the studio. Chris Visser, man, just continuing to he even days when he doesn't have home runs, because I'll call this a home run, but he booked this earlier in the week. He still was hitting us with like possible guests and stuff, and like, you know, that's where we're going to expand this show, and we'll have more time for all that. But yeah, Visser, the best. Scotty Swingler, the best. Enjoy Sitake. Enjoy Joey McGuire. Enjoy the game. We will see you back here Monday on the Pete Sousa Show. Have a great, safe weekend. All right, Scotty.
With a focus on performance, design, and customer service, we're here to help you work smarter, not harder. Join us on our journey to simplify your world. Visit acasis.com today. That's ACASIS.com today.
Designed to elevate the off-road experience, enabling adventurers to conquer any terrain. For 50 years, you've trusted us on your toughest recoveries, to your most breathtaking destinations, and in countless unforgettable memories.
We offer fast shipping, exceptional customer support, and furniture solutions that stand up to high traffic environment. Elevate your space with BizChair's vast selection of stylish, reliable, and cost-effective furniture. Visit us today at bizchair.com to transform your business.
But boy, it looked effortless.
Man, watch this.
Layups, floaters, threes. He was like an unsolvable equation.
I was born like this.
His resilience, his strength, his belief, adversity never stood a chance.
Know your power.
VivoSun's mission is to empower growers with stylish and effective products, making indoor growing accessible and enjoyable for everyone. Visit vivosun.com today and get started making growing plants and vegetables easy and automatic.
WhyPersonalLoans.com. Request a loan anytime. Our partners can offer loans up to $35,000 with varying rates and terms. Review your loan offer with no obligation and decide what works for you. Visit personalloans.com today.
So all you have to do is tap your Popple to the back of someone's phone like that, and they instantly get your social media and contact info right on the screen. They don't need an app or a Popple to receive your info. So get your Popple today and start impressing everyone you meet. Make it pop.
Is your Mac running slow? Mac Booster 8 is your all-in-one solution to clean up 20 types of junk files. Get your Mac running like new again with Mac Booster 8. Visit macboost.net today.
It's the Pete Sousa Show.
Farmhounds offers natural treats and chews made with quality products that support family farm, regenerative agriculture, and humane farming practices. Give your dog the best with wholesome, organic ingredients that promote health and happiness. Shop now at farmhounds.com.
Circulon C1 Series Clad with Scratch Defense Non-Stick. Maximize cooking, minimize cleaning. Discover the unmatched durability and elegance scratch-free, worry-free, forever.
I am obsessed with helping business owners increase their traffic and turn it into profit through the power of Pinterest marketing. It's this amazing platform where people are looking for ideas, inspiration. They have a problem and they're actively looking for a solution.
Stability.
Welcome back to Inside the 12. Shahan J. Araja, Taylor McCargan, Pete Sousa, and we are thrilled right now to welcome a coach who's been 22-3 over the past 2 seasons at BYU and has got his team in the 3rd year in the conference ready to play in the Big 12 title game in Arlington. His loyalty shining through earlier this week to the school and just a part of an amazing mission Kalani Sitake, head coach of BYU, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, we know it's been a slow week for you, right? We figured you had some time, so you could just kind of chop it up with us.
Anything for you guys. I'll make the time.
Hey, Coach, we do want to celebrate the commitment you have made to BYU. Not necessarily surprising to a lot of us who've got a chance to follow you and know your legacy there at BYU, but what does it mean for you to double down on your situation in Provo?
Well, I'm extremely happy to be here and here for a long time. I think the keys for me was to take care of my staff and take care of our players. And this is my home. I played here. I played for legend Lavelle Edwards, and so it's difficult when I've had. It's awesome that people have been interested in me and that universities have contacted me. But when it was all said and done, the timing of it all. I was thinking about just talking about things at the end of the season after the championship game, but things got sped up when everything started going crazy. And it became a distraction to the team. And so even though I try to avoid the distraction, there needed to be a decision made. Either I was going to coach this team this week or I was going to step out and go somewhere else, just like how Lane did. And, I felt like because the distraction was out there, let's try to eliminate it as quickly as possible and make a decision. I'm really thankful that the university stepped up and that they made it easy on me and easy on our program. Now we can just focus on the game and stop talking about me and my contract, even though we're doing it right now.
Well, let's jump to the football. Obviously, this is a Texas Tech team that you guys have played before. What kind of benefit and what kind of challenge is it going up against a team for the second time in a season?
Well, the challenge is Texas Tech is they're one of the best teams in the country and well coached. And Joey McGuire's amazing leader. I mean, he's a friend of mine, so I've been around him and see what he does in building his culture. We've been able to break bread together and hang out, and so I've seen him at his best, and this is him at his best. And you're seeing the momentum that they're gaining, the confidence that they have as a team. We didn't do our best against them when we went out to Lubbock. That's a tough environment to play in. So I'm glad that we're going to be in Arlington, a neutral site with our fans and with their fans. It's going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be a lot of energy there. But I'm really thankful that our team has been able to answer back. And last year we missed out in the championship game through a tiebreaker, and I'm glad our guys were able to take the initiative this year and not even leave it up to somebody else making the decision for us. We were control our destiny, even with the loss of Texas Tech, and now we have a chance for redemption. So we're looking forward to the matchup. It's not going to be easy, but it's going to be a great game, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Coach, your quarterback, Bear Bachmeier, I think we all agree, one of the best storylines in all of college football. Wasn't even on campus in the spring semester. All the changes that you have at that position, he ends up being the guy. And for this special season that he's having, how proud are you of his development and growth, not only becoming the starter when he did, but his growth throughout the season?
Yeah, I've been really impressed with him overall. Just the willingness to learn the system, but also be patient. I think A-Rod, our offensive coordinator, has done a great job at giving him bit by bit from week one to all the way to now. And, he knows a lot more about the game and about our playbook now than he did back in August. But I think it was a natural progression getting there. The one thing that I can tell you is that he's always been mindful of his teammates and knowing what it takes to put them in a position to have success and taking care of the football. We're asking him to grow up pretty quickly, and he's done that. And he's been a great teammate, and I love that the guys have all rallied around him.
Yeah, obviously in the last game, LJ Martin was a little banged up. Since then, he's gone on to have one of the best seasons of any running back in the Big
Easier. How is the committee supposed to?
Finally.
Grow up pretty quickly, and he's done that. And he's been a great teammate, and I love that the guys have all rallied around him.
Yeah, obviously in the last game, LJ Martin was a little banged up. Since then, he's gone on to have one of the best seasons of any running back in the Big 12. How significant has LJ Martin been to this team, and how significant will a healthy LJ Martin be to this matchup?
Yeah, the matchup's going to be difficult altogether, but having LJ feeling confident in his health and, I think having our guys they know that game didn't go as well as they wanted to. But it's just exciting for them to want another chance. In fact, Texas Tech, when we're shaking hands with them after the game, half their team are saying, "Hey, we'll see you guys in a few weeks, the championship game," and we were looking forward to that too. So it's kind of nice that they were manifesting it for us as well. But it's all said and done. LJ is going to be able to make plays if the O-line can block for him. And Bear's going to be able to throw the ball if the O-line can take care of the business. And so that's hard to do against a very talented D-line. And then, you look at the linebackers like Jacob Rodriguez, they're all over the place. And so this is not an easy game, but man, we love the challenge. I think the fact that this game is coming up and the championship game is coming up, we're having our best practices, and we're going to be at our best, and let's see if our best will get us a win.
Coach, we've got about 45 seconds. I do want to piggyback on that question. Sione Moa is on the depth chart now. He hasn't played since East Carolina. Could bring depth at that running back position. Do you expect him to have an impact and play on Saturday?
We're hopeful. I don't want to put him at risk, but at the same time, I've been really proud of the progress that Bears made, but the progress that the running backs have made along the way with the absence of Sione. So, I think the run game is more than just a running back. It includes everybody else. And so, hopefully he'll be ready to roll, but we know we can count on the others.
All right, last question for you. On behalf of all of us, win or lose, why does BYU, we want you to tell the nation, deserve to be in the college football playoff?
Well, we're in the championship game. I think it's difficult for teams that aren't playing at all this weekend, to be waiting, and they get bumped into the playoffs by other people competing. And so last year I didn't have much to say because we weren't in the championship game. This year I think everybody should play a 13th game. If we're playing in the championship game, then how about those other guys settle it on the field and figure out so the committee can make it easier? How is the committee supposed to judge the two teams that are playing for a championship game and other teams that aren't? That's to me, or just expand it and make it 24.
Kalani Sitake, let's go. We got a new college football commissioner, finally. Football is back, and Underdog is the best place to make picks and win money all season long. Playing on Underdog is easy. Just pick whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like touchdowns, receiving yards, interceptions, and more. Get your picks right and you can win up to 5,000 times your cash. You can play with as little as $1. Download the app today and sign up with promo code Sousa to score $50 in bonus funds when you play your first $5. That's promo code Sousa. That's SOUSA. Millions of fans have already won billions making picks on Underdog. Will you be next? Underdog. Make picks. Win money.
Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play-and-get-terms_DFS_.html for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 HOPE line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. That's 467-369.
Oh, yeah. Pete Sousa Show. Welcome back. Hey, we're going to throw it in just a second here to Coach Joey McGuire. We just heard from Kalani Sitake, but I did need to give a shout out to Underdog today. I have made my weekend picks, and I want you to pick along with me. If you want to win some money on Underdog, this is your path forward. It's all about the run game this weekend. We just heard Kalani Sitake talk about the importance of LJ Martin. We heard earlier Robbie Bosco say the same thing. LJ Martin's going to score a touchdown in this game, guys. Very simple. So take him on Underdog higher than half a rushing or receiving touchdown. Josh Allen, by the way, biggest NFL game this weekend, potentially, Buffalo and Cincinnati. I don't know if you noticed last week, Josh Allen set the record. No quarterback in NFL history has more rushing touchdowns than Josh Allen, and I think he does it again against Cincinnati in a big matchup. So take higher than half a rushing touchdown for him as well. And then Indiana versus Ohio State. Kevin Hall pointed out here on the show earlier, no team in college football has rushed for over 300 yards in a game except Indiana, and they've done it 5 times. Roman Hemby is kind of taking the reins as their lead back. Ohio State's defense is very good, but you're telling me I just need him to get higher than 51.5 rushing yards to win some money on Underdog? I will take that. So higher. LJ Martin and Josh Allen on rushing touchdowns, Roman Hemby on rushing yards. Use that promo code Sousa, and you can get $50 of bonus cash with your first $5 deposit. That's just free money to play on Underdog. I'm going to get out of here and throw it to Pete's interview with head coach of the Texas Tech Red Raiders, Joey McGuire.
School, and then everybody else, they're really excited. Like
Inside the 12, the quarterback Taylor McCargan, the CBS College Football insider Shahan Jayaraja. I am Pete Sousa. Of course, BYU and Texas Tech getting set to do the championship thing in the Edward Jones Big 12 championship game. And we are so lucky to be joined right now by one of the most charismatic guys in all of college football. He leads, they follow, and wherever you go, Coach, you win. And now here you are on one of the biggest stages, getting set to play one of the biggest games in the school's history.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me, guys. Yeah, we're honored to be in this championship game. And, whenever I talked to him Sunday after we got back and kind of put the West Virginia game to bed, I was like, we earned the right to be in this game. Now practice this week. We got to earn the right to win that game. And the guys have been locked in, and, man, we can't wait to get to Arlington.
Well, you put pen to paper earlier this week. You, my friend, are locked in. How much does it mean to you to make that commitment, sign that extension with Texas Tech and the family in Lubbock?
Yeah, it's huge. Our creative team's so good, and they did a really cool video of my press conference to now. And in the press conference, I said, that I've been 4 places. I was at Crowley for 3 years. I was at Cedar Hill for 20. I was at Baylor for 5 years, and I said, I'll die in Lubbock, Texas. And that's what people don't understand. Whenever you're never going to hear my name linked to any job, because I don't want to be anywhere else. I have the best job in the country, and I have the best backing in the country. Our fan base is incredible. Our administration. I mean, you see what our donors are doing whenever it comes to NIL and revenue sharing. And so why go anywhere else? I'm a Texan. I love this place. And again, I hope I'm not dying tomorrow, but I'll be here until I die.
Well, Coach McGuire, obviously we had a chance to chat this offseason, and there were high expectations heading into the season to reach Arlington. After going through this season, are you even a little surprised how much this came together?
Honestly, I'm not. Just from the standpoint of, you could tell in spring football, whenever you were around Romello Height, when you're around Lee Hunter, just the people they were, but also the football players they were. And then, the leadership that we have in Baron Morton and Jacob Rodriguez, Bryce Ramirez, those guys that have been here from day one. Man, I just felt like if we could stay healthy, we could really make a run at this thing. And we've been relatively healthy. The one game we've lost this year, our starting quarterback didn't play. Arizona State played an incredible game. I have a lot of respect for them, especially their defensive staff. It was really impressive the way they tackled that day, played elite defense against us, but I'm really not. I know that it's easy to say because of where we're at right now, but I did feel like coming out of spring football, we had something really special.
Coach, when you guys think about the initial matchup between you and BYU, that margin of victory, it didn't tell the full story. You dominated that game, but it looked closer in the box score than it really was. Red zone offense specifically, do you feel like on that specific side of the ball and in the tight red zone area that you guys have improved since then?
Yeah, we've been playing better, especially the last 2 games. BYU had a lot to do with that. They're a really good defensive team. I do feel like that this is the best 2 teams in the Big 12 this year that are playing in the championship. And, we have our work cut out for us. It's hard to beat somebody twice. We know what we're playing for. We want to stay in the top 4, and we want that bye. And, whenever you look at it from BYU, they're playing, they win the game, then they're in the playoffs. And so it's going to be an absolute war. It's going to be an entertaining game, because we both are playing for so much, and 2 really, really good teams that are extremely physical, well coached. Kalani's one of my favorite coaches in the business. I love that guy. I was fired up that he stayed at BYU. That's great for BYU in the conference. It's going to be a war. It's going to be a fun game to watch.
Yeah. Go ahead, Sean.
Yeah, Coach, I wanted to ask you real quick. Look, you coached in Tarrant County. You obviously are from DFW, and you get a chance to coach at AT&T Stadium. I know that you coached once in a Big 12 title game, but also you won a bunch of state championships as well. What does it mean to bring Texas Tech and to play in this stadium on this stage?
I'm excited. This will be my 14th game to coach in AT&T Stadium as a head coach. So at the high school level, I coached in 13 games in that stadium. It's my favorite stadium to coach in. I mean, just whenever you walk in, it's absolutely incredible. It's a beautiful stadium. I have so many great memories in that stadium, and I'm really excited. It's, we probably had 30% of our team that's played games in that stadium in high school, and then everybody else, they're really excited. Like Baron Morton's like, man, I can't wait to get there. We've done the Big 12 media days there, so some of those guys have seen it. We did a senior leadership at the end of June, and we actually did it in Dallas, and we took those guys over to AT&T Stadium. And so, man, we're fired up. We can't wait to get there. And I'll tell you this, I'll be shocked if we don't set a new attendance record, because the Red Raiders are going to show up, and I know BYU's fan base is going to show up. It's going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be a lot of red and a lot of blue in that stadium.
When we look back at your season, Coach, it's hard to overlook, your first appointment with BYU at home, riding that tidal wave of College game day to a huge victory. When you play a team a second time, I know you mentioned earlier this week you got a note from Mac Brown that said you're really playing up to a standard that you set, not necessarily an opponent. But how do you ward off maybe an overconfidence for your team who's outscored opponents 43-11 this year on the season, and now you're playing an opponent in a title game that you've beaten before?
The biggest thing that, and we always talk about this, the film is like looking in the mirror. And I challenged my guys Monday to sit down and go back and watch that game, get the call, and look at what they should do. And the question was, did you execute at a high level? Were you the hammer or were you the nail? Like, did you get out physicaled on that play? And there's some times right there, if you just look at play by play, I mean, y'all said it perfect. We were not good in the red zone. We kicked 5 field goals. So in those instances, we didn't execute at a high level, and they were more physical than us. And so I think if you really look at it, it's always the scoreboard's one thing, the film's another. And there was stuff on film that I know they feel good about, that they could have played better. And then there's plenty of stuff on film that we could play better, against those guys. And when you're playing, they are a really big physical football team. Their quarterback's probably 250, 260. Their running backs 230 plus. They can beat you up. And so we've got to be the more physical team. And that's been the challenge all week long for our players.
We are looking forward to this heavyweight fight on Saturday in Arlington. Coach Joey McGuire, thank you so much for spending the time with us on what we know is a very busy week for you.
Thank you, man. Wreck 'em.
Good luck, Coach. There he goes, head coach Joey McGuire. Shahana, I want to give you an opportunity to build on a little bit what you talked with Coach about. Before the season, you write this story for CBS Sports about how this whole team was built, not bought, and you did a great job of illustrating how this thing came together.
Yeah, I think that it's so easy in this era to kind of just jump out and say, well, they just spent a bunch of money. Yeah, I mean, they did spend a bunch of money. Let's be clear about that. But I think that when you look at the success that they've had, so much of it has to do with the identification that they did, of understanding what their holes were, of understanding what guys would fit into their culture. I mean, look at a lot of the top 5 transfer classes in the country. There are some fired coaches on that list. This is a team putting together its most historic season in history.
Yeah, Taylor, as far as that question is concerned, like you asked Coach McGuire a great question, and it was kind of about the camaraderie. Are you surprised with the cohesion this team has found? And really, because there's so much talent on there.
I think it goes back to Shahan's point that every school that wants to compete for a national championship spins. This is not unique to Texas Tech, but it's a testament to Joey McGuire and his staff and the culture that they've built there, that they bring these guys in. Sure, they went and spent for top talent. That's modern college football. You did the hard part in bringing them in, the easy part. The hard part is getting them to gel and win football games, and they've done both incredibly well. And again, it's a testament to what Joey McGuire and that staff have built in Lubbock, and credit to these kids for competing at the highest level each and every week.
Yeah, and let me just follow on that too. You know, I got a chance to talk to Coach McGuire about a month ago, and one thing he pointed to is there are a couple of kids on that team who are, one, yes, of course, kids who were there already, but also who are very specifically West Texas kids. Baron Morton being among them, Jacob Rodriguez being among them. There's a list of 6 that he gave me, and he feels like those guys have been so integral to setting.
It's the Pete Sousa Show. Sports.
We definitely love our relationship and love Extraco. It's been an amazing experience.
They made the PPP process easier. They were reaching out to me saying, what can I do to help you? That made a huge difference because my stress level when we shut down to afterwards was night and day.
Our experience with Extraco has been phenomenal since the very beginning, so we love Extraco.
Show. Sports.
Nobody tells our stories better than our clients.
The difference is stark. I was rear-ended at 70 miles an hour. I was injured, had a concussion. The insurance company, they delayed. They were playing games from the initial conversation. They weren't going to help me. The biggest thing I learned through this is that you can't go through this alone. I called Daniel Stark. They were going to help me and everything was going to be all right. Daniel Stark got me 10 times the insurance company offered.
The difference is stark.
Show. Sports.
Our professionals are not only experts in managing urgent concerns, but also in providing top-notch preventative health care. We're proud to connect pet owners to a vast network of licensed veterinary professionals, ready to address any immediate concerns. Book your first appointment today.
Nalgene Outdoor has been your trusted companion, fueling adventures and helping protect the planet. We're committed to reducing waste, improving access to clean water, and providing simple, safe, and sustainable products for you and your family. NALGENE.com. We are Rogue Media Sports.